Howdy, man.
And I'm Chris.
I would like to perish.
Like Louisiana? Like a parish? Like a Catholic count? You're like a parishioner?
Many things, but Catholic is not one of them.
That's very fair. My mom's gonna be sad to hear that.
Why would she be sad? I mean, she already knew I wasn't Catholic.
She said that when anybody's not Catholic, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Sorry.
You apologize if I know.
I just did.
Oh, okay. It happened. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're both pretty tired, to be honest. Up in the morning, recording this for you. I hope you appreciate this.
That seems a little toxic.
Is it?
It does.
You appreciate it if you want. I don't give a shit. That sounds worse.
Yeah, I don't feel like we really moved in the right direction with that one.
Yeah, no. Anyway.
I think we might be.
We might be doing a worse job than we started.
It's a little rough, buddy.
Yeah. How was your week? What's been up?
I had one beer. What? 2 beers.
What?
Sorry, actually, I drank a bottle of wine.
What?
I said, sorry, I actually drank a bottle of wine.
Yeah, I said what? I just decided to not say it in the normal fashion.
Oh, okay. Word.
Oh,
Word up to your homie.
It's pretty,
Been playing lots of Baldur's Gate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like it? I've heard good things.
Yeah.
So many good things, in fact, that whenever I tell people that I'm not playing it, when they ask me how I like it, they're like, I hate you. And I'm like, what? Somebody actually said that to me. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. They're like, I've been waiting all week to talk to you about this. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm playing other things right now. I'll get to it, I swear.
It's a good game. You basically do whatever you want. They did a decent job capturing D&D in a video game.
You roll the dice.
Still not exactly the same.
Yeah. Because you can't do anything.
That's true. One thing I noted, because I started playing it melted to the wax.
Well, you put a previously lit match on dried melted wax. Now it's a modern marvel.
I don't like
the camera's picking it up well.
Anyways, one thing, cause I started a new campaign with Tyler and Alex last night, and we were
they were in the Discord.
We were just being very chaotic. One thing I noticed is that you can't there's a ledge, and I had rope in my inventory, but I couldn't drop down with the rope. You know what I'm saying? It was fine.
Okay. You just had to find another way to drop down, or
no? I just jumped down, took damage.
Oh, they're just like, if you want to get down there,
you're gonna get hurt.
Roll for damage. Yeah.
Well, it's not really a roll. It's just there's certain distances do certain damages. But I was playing I made what might be one of my favorite D&D characters to date.
Yes.
So he's a deep gnome. So it's a gnome, but from the Underdark.
Okay.
So I just did that because they look creepier.
That's very fair. Very fair. Yeah. Typically, things that are from the Underdark are creepier than things that not.
But if I have a screenshot, I'll put it over here somewhere or something. But I named him Timmy Three Toes.
Timmy Three Toes. Three Toe is the name of, I think, one of the main cannibalistic hillbillies in the Wrong Turn series.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Or no, it's Three Finger. That's my bad.
This is Timmy Three Toes.
Timmy Three Toes.
And I selected the option to have like facial scarring. Like, he's got a couple scars going on his chin too. And I also selected the option to have 2 tattoos on his face that were of like millipedes or centipedes, I guess.
Okay.
Whichever centipede is the venomous one, right?
Is the centipede is the red one?
I don't know that they're not. The tattoo is in black.
Yeah, but like the black ones don't look like the red ones do. They're very distinct usually. The red ones are very quick, and you're like, and then the black ones are like.
I want to say centipede, but it's 2 centipedes. Okay. Either way.
If it's got the pointed kind of legs, then it's probably a centipede.
Yeah, okay. And I give him a big old handlebar mustache.
Got the.
So he looks really stupid. I'm not gonna lie. But I was playing a rogue.
Rogue.
Yeah, and I went thief rogue, which is why I just kind of jumped down because thief rogues take reduced fall damage.
Oh, feather falling.
Where Alex would have taken like 5 damage, I only took 1.
You madman.
Yeah.
You just said no. It had the other 4 damage in its hand.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, good man.
But it's been a very chaotic run. There's this part where there's this goblin like telling his giving this big old rousing like speech about his adventures to his compatriots.
I was in the war or whatever.
Yeah, the war of whatever. And so if you walk up, you join dialogue with him. And he's just like another foreign type.
Yeah.
He's like, you think you own the world even though you're just a teensy gnome. And the 2 dialogue options were either that's a lot of assumptions, I don't think I'm better than anybody, or I don't think I'm the best, I know I'm the best. So that's what I went with because Timmy Three Toes.
yeah.
He's the best.
Timmy Three Toes got all that confidence, you know what I mean?
And so the goblin gets pissed off.
Yes.
And he's like, learn your place. And then he's like, get down here and kiss my feet.
Lick my toes.
So the option I went with was the dialogue option of, no, you kiss my feet.
You lick my toes. My toes are the ones that need licking.
It's like an intimidation check. So I passed it, and the goblin gets scared.
Yeah.
But then he's like, look, just go away. Just turn around.
Yeah.
And then you have the option to insist, no, lick my toe, like kiss my feet.
Floss my toes.
And then that starts a combat. Now, you're in the middle of the goblin camp. There's like an entire town that's been overrun with goblins. But even though it's a combat, it's only with him and like the 2 goblins he was talking to. You don't have to fight all of the goblins.
Right.
Thank God.
Oh, man. I hate this.
But, so, it ends when you almost kill him instead of when you do. Because then there's another cutscene. Oh, God, sorry.
We apologize for all the vicious yawning that we're both doing.
He's like on the ground, he's begging for his life.
Yes.
And then you have a couple of dialogue options. And naturally, I picked the one that said, now, kiss my feet. So the goblin's like, all right. And he crawls over and kisses my feet. And then you
is it animated that he kisses your feet?
Yeah.
It's not like overly involved, is it?
No.
Okay, good. I was like, I don't need to see him like just do like a like full purse like on the toe.
I mean, I was wearing boots.
You wearing boots?
Yeah, I'll take the boots off.
Well, I kind of thought you would have like one of those kind of things that had like an open toe kind of thing. But
Why
it was
would
like
you do that?
I don't know, because you're like a a troll from the Underdark.
Gnome.
Gnome or
Gnomes
whatever.
wear shoes.
Yeah.
Anyways, then you have two options. Either turn around and leave him groveling, or laugh maniacally and finish him off. So the first time we did this, I laughed maniacally and finished him off. But what that does is trigger a combat with all of the goblins in the entire town.
I see.
So there's a concept called
You
save scumming.
grew your infamy.
There's a concept called save scumming that I don't like to do very frequently.
I'm familiar with save scumming. I played Final Fantasy VIII.
But I was like, Alex, can you, because he was the party owner, I was like, Alex, can you please boot up the last save?
That was like me when I played Undertale. In the very beginning, I didn't know that you had to deny combat 20 times in a row to be able to move on without having to kill said person at the very beginning. Okay.
The mom?
Yes. So in my head, I'm like, well, I don't want to kill her, but if I have to do it to like progress the game forward, then like, sorry. So I did. And then I found out pretty immediately that I didn't have to kill her. So what did I do? I restarted the game, and then I decided not to kill her. But Undertale is a fucky-wucky game, and it remembers what you've done.
Oh.
So you get to Flowey as soon as you get out of that part and stuff like that, and he's just like, you thought I wouldn't, fucking remember that you restarted your save? You're a terrible person. And I'm like, well, shut up.
That reminds me of, like, Doki Doki Literature Club.
What a
when
game.
Monica knows everything that you do. It's kind of more like a virus than a game, right?
The fact that you have to like uninstall Monica from the game as a part of the game.
you have to alter the game files.
Spoilers, I guess, but like it's been out for forever now.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah, if you haven't played it yet, you're a literal child. What are you doing?
Other than growing up and being happy and healthy and
Yeah, I suppose.
aspiring to become a productive member of society.
I suppose. I have a present for you.
Real quick.
Yes.
So the second time, I picked the correct option.
Oh.
Which was just to leave him
I
groveling.
didn't know that there was more.
Well, the only other thing that there was
Yeah.
is that one of the goblins that was listening to him tell a story is now cackling and saying, Crusher licked some toes. And Tyler, Alex, and I agreed unanimously that was worth the effort of doing the combat twice.
Very fair.
Okay, sorry. What were you saying?
No. Hold on. You just made me think of another thing too. You've seen the movie Signs, right?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Do you remember the scene where Joaquin Phoenix is talking to the general, or like the police chief or something like that?
I think it's just police. But
Yeah, but he's like a some kind
point
of
of
enforcement.
authority.
Yeah. And he's like, "Weren't you the home run champion of your school?" And he's just like, "Yeah, 2 years in a row. Didn't you hit like 10 home runs or something?" And he was just like, 23. I was like, 23. So what are you doing down around here instead of up in the big leagues getting your toes licked by supermodels? I was like, what?
Getting your toes licked
By supermodels. M. Night Shyamalan consistently just writes the weirdest, stupidest dialogue I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Yeah, because that was one of the better movies of his.
Yeah. And like, just imagine like all the stuff in the happening. You know what I mean? Like
God,
we're not.
so dumb.
Oh my god. And then the one where like he's like trying to think, and then everybody's just like, "Hey, what are we gonna do? Hey, hey!" And he's just like, "Can you just give me a second?" And then everybody's still just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this! You know what are we gonna do? You gotta tell us what to do." And he's like, "Can somebody just give me a second? Can somebody give me one goddamn second?"
I told you how I watched The Happening, right?
Yeah, isn't it still technically on the set somewhere?
Probably bootleg DVD.
It's in a little bootleg kind of
It's in a green envelope. It's a red disc.
envelope. What was the other one? I thought you had two.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh. It's far worse than we could have ever imagined. Good God. Yeah, I must get you I must get you a better bootleg DVD. I have a bootleg DVD of a much better film that I will give to you personally. I have no use for it.
You said you already had a gift for me.
Oh, I do have a gift for you. Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus.
The greatest Final Fantasy game to ever Final Fantasy game.
With online.
With online.
The fact that this game has online in any capacity is quite possibly the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Like co-op. Also, this case is so much better.
It's so nice, isn't it? It's got like a holographic kind of thing.
It does, we pulled a hollow on this one.
Pull a hollow. Yeah, baby. It gives you keyboard instructions for when you type into chat. Because you could plug in a mouse and keyboard into your PS2.
Terrible news. Everything's in Japanese.
Well, yeah. That's the way everything is, Ian.
Yes, the world is Japanese.
Don't you remember when you went to Subway the other day and it just said Subway?
Nope.
No?
I don't go to Subway.
It's probably because I was lying.
Stato.
While Ian is infatuated with that particular piece of media, I'd like to set a more serious topic going on. There are people out there in the world who don't feel like it's their obligation to do the things that they need to do when they need to do them. Go do it. Be you. I'm a part of the Go Do It Be You Foundation. For just 50 cents a day, you can go do it and be you.
Unless you're British.
Yeah, in which case, go somewhere else.
Be someone else.
Yeah. It would be better that way. Oh my God. Very nice.
Excellent. Where's my Criterion Armageddon?
Well, you might have moved it in the fray.
Probably. It's going to sit with my Criterion Armageddon whenever I locate it.
Very nice. Very nice, very nice. I'm glad that you enjoy your gift.
Well, what about the Virginia Housewife? Or Methodical Cook?
What about the Virginia Housewife?
Pick a random recipe.
Women?
Macaroni.
Huh?
The random recipe I found was macaroni.
Go tell us what to go and
Boil as much macaroni as will fill
while
your
Ian
dish
is reading this
in milk
particular
and water
recipe, I'd like to
till quite tender. Drain it on a sieve. Sprinkle. Wait.
drain it on what?
It needs a sieve is like a.
Yeah, it's like the thing that you do rocks with.
No.
Yeah, you put rocks in there and you make
That's
sure
one
the
of the
smaller
many
rocks.
uses of the word sieve. Sprinkle a little salt over it. Put a layer in your dish. Then cheese and butter as in the polenta and bake it in the same manner.
In the what?
Polenta. To make polenta, put a large spoonful of butter, a quart of water. Wet your cornmeal with cold water in a bowl. Add some salt.
The polenta.
Make
To make
quite
polenta.
smooth. Then put
Holy
it in
shit,
the butter
man.
water when it is hot. Let it boil, stirring it continually till done.
Oh, God.
As soon as you can handle it, make it into a ball and then let it stand.
To make a ball.
Then cut it in thin slices. Lay them in the bottom of a deep dish so as to cover it. Put on it slices of cheese and on that a few bits of butter. Then
Wow.
mush cheese and butter until the dish is full. Put on the top thin slices of cheese and butter. Put the dish in a quick oven, 20 or 30
A
minutes.
quick
We'll
oven.
bake it.
Don't put it in no regular ass oven. That shit better be Usain
Hey, wait a
Bolt
second.
of ovens.
One more.
One more.
There's a recipe.
This is
for-
going to be a recurring sketch
This
on
is
the
a
show.
recipe for mock macaroni. Break some crackers in small.
Recipe for mock macaroni.
Break some crackers in small pieces. Soak them in milk until they are soft. Then use them as a substitute for macaroni. That sounds awful. Soggy,
Soak the crackers in milk until they are soft and effeminate.
soggy crackers instead of pasta in your macaroni.
Ugh. You're replacing the pasta?
That's what it just said.
I thought you were replacing the breadcrumbs on the top.
No, it just says a substitute for macaroni. So you do the macaroni recipe again, except
So it's just wet bread?
It's wet bread covered in cheese.
It's
and
wet
butter.
bread covered in cheese and butter. You like that? Do you like it, huh? I'd rather eat scalloped potatoes.
Those are good.
I know.
So,
I would
of
rather
course-
eat them, yeah.
Of course you would rather eat them. Anyways, this is a very old cookbook.
It
You
is.
couldn't tell.
Now that Ian has done that, and it was absolutely hilarious, that's going to be a recurring sketch on the show, 100%.
I don't know about all that, but yeah.
That was so funny. Oh my god. Okay.
You alright, pal?
I think so. On to the thing, unless you have more.
No.
No?
No.
Nothing? All of this is fake. I made it up.
Here you can,
What is that?
use it as a credit card. You buy yourself something nice.
Why is there no Venture 2?
What's in your wallet?
Let me just see
Show me
it.
what's in your wallet.
Hold on. I got it right here. Random. It's random.
Random as he picks through it meticulously.
The ticket for the invitation? We saw that movie.
It was a good movie.
We did it. It was okay. It's pretty good. All
All
right.
right. Considered.
Anyway, on to the news here.
Oh.
We watched a movie film.
Who did?
We did.
We did?
Yeah.
What did we watch?
Clerks 3.
Oh, yeah. We did do that.
Now that you've had time to stew.
Yeah, and forget about most of it.
You forgot about most of it.
How about you? Oh, she did it again.
You gotta wait.
I did wait. She usually only
You
does it
didn't
twice.
Wait long enough. She did it 3 times already.
Right. Which is why I was like, oh, you got a couple seconds. You're done.
Well, she said, no.
Whatever.
She wasn't done.
Clerks 3.
Clerks 3. I thought it was good. A fitting end to the arc. Any other thoughts?
I thought it was a pretty witty yet respectful approach.
Yes. There was a scene that you didn't like.
I don't remember now what it was.
It was the one where Kevin Smith is just essentially talking to the camera.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't huge on that. Just because, it's Silent Bob. Silent Bob.
Yeah.
I get the gag of occasionally having him say something, but that was
And it's usually wisdomful,
Yeah, but that was paragraphs of scripts. Man.
That was literally just he reached through and he was like, "You listen here. I know how to direct a movie film."
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I was like, this is uncomfortable, man.
Yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable.
It's out of character for sure.
It's like we're on an elevator right now. You don't have to pin me against the wall. Jesus.
What is this? Evil Dead Rise?
Good movie.
Get it? Because there's an elevator in it.
There was an elevator in it. You're right. You're right.
I am right.
Breaking news. Panic. Are you panicked? You better be.
I'm panicking.
Oh my God.
I can hardly contain
The
it.
Xbox 360 digital storefront is shutting down in September.
Who cares?
Everyone should,
Why?
because there's hundreds of thousands of games that will never be able to be accessed again. Get them while you can, and also get physical games while you can, because those prices are going to drive up.
Okay.
Yes. So if
I
you
don't
were,
think I have any Xbox 360 games. No, I do
You
actually.
in fact,
There's
I
a
think-
couple I can see from here.
well, I think they're just Gears.
Yeah, I think I gave away most of my old games. That was the reason why I no longer had a copy of Dirge of Cerberus. Gave it away.
Well, now you have a copy again.
One that I could definitely play on my PlayStation 2.
Not on yours,
That was the joke.
but on mine.
Did you actually buy that?
Huh? I will be today.
Oh, okay.
I didn't buy that one because essentially it was
Well, all the shipping and whatnot, you said.
yeah.
You said you found a different one, but I just want to see if you actually...
I did find a different one. If I found a different one, so the original one was going to be that much plus the shipping, and it was going to come with no controllers or cords or anything for it. Okay, I found one that comes with a controller, the video cords, and the power cord, and the console, and it's modded and everything and stuff like that for $129, and it's the right region. So I don't have to worry about getting a power step up or step down transformer and stuff. Because Great Britain people use fucking weird ass outlets and weird power, and stop doing that, huh?
It's strange. Why is it different?
They don't run games at 60 frames per second in Great Britain. They run them at 50 frames per second.
Well, that's not relevant to the power question.
Right, but their whole society is backwards. Like, they think that that's okay.
Wait, do they genuinely, like, en masse run games at 50 FPS?
Yes. And, like, 50 hertz, like, refresh rate and stuff like that. Like, it's...
Oh, that's
not
weird.
not 60 hertz. Like, it's...
Feels like a strange thing to just do.
Like, it's one thing if you had it at a locked 30, like how a lot of games are and stuff like that.
Sure.
Like, but, I mean, why even... why bother if you can't hit the golden 60? Like, I mean...
Anyways, I've just never...
Maybe they can't tell the difference.
I've never
Yeah.
really grasped why the power outlets are different.
It's got something to
In
do with
Europe.
electrical standards and stuff like that. Like...
Are the
from
power
what I
outlets
understand-
different in Japan?
Oh, 100%. Oh, they're way different.
Oh. I just don't get it. Why does everybody has their... Everybody's so unique. Everybody's
Well, it
so
makes sense for
creative.
Japan to be unique, but how does it make sense for Great Britain to be unique? If anything, Great Britain should have had the thing that they had, and then we would have also had that because we come from them.
I mean, the power of electricity was harnessed after that.
Sure.
So it's like the concept of like... Here's an interesting thing I learned the other day. A lot of the things that we say that they don't say came from them initially.
Yeah.
Because of when a lot of American colonists split off from England.
Yeah.
So, like, the word trash
Trash.
was originally a British word around when, like, Shakespeare was alive.
Yeah.
And it just came with colonists. But then they stopped using the word trash in Great Britain and used the word rubbish now.
It just had to be different, huh?
But language evolves. Like,
Yeah,
that's...
yeah.
I'm not, like, questioning that.
Sure.
But it's just really funny when you hear, like, modern British people. Because I've heard some modern British people mock the word trash. Like, saying, like, what is trash? It's rubbish. It's literally rubbish.
What is garage?
And it's just like, you came up with this word.
It is from your loins. You birthed the word.
There's a couple of words like that
Yeah.
where we use the older version of it, I guess, which just seems odd to me.
Damn, we're not we're not on the newest update. Fuck.
Yeah, we're not on the latest patch. If we were on the latest patch, we would say things like rubbish. But we're not on the latest
Rubbish,
patch.
filth, slime, refuse. Boo, boo. It just turns into the Princess Bride.
Yeah, I got it. I said, great segue. I saw a TikTok. It was this lady, and she was like rewatching The Princess Bride and realizing that Fezzik is actually the ideal man the whole time.
I thought she was realizing that it was Andre the Giant. She was like, him and Andre the Giant look really similar.
No,
That's crazy.
No,
They must be like
just 'cause
brothers
it's like,
or something. Man.
he's kind, he's poetic, he's tall.
He'll defend you.
Yeah. But on the note of like, Andre the Giant really looks similar to this guy.
Yeah.
You know all those like AI voice song things.
Oh
where
yeah.
People will
My
make
favorite
AI
is
covers.
the Star Wars droid doing Rap God by Eminem.
Yeah.
Look, I was gonna go easy on you and not to hurt your feelings.
But my favorite has been somebody took a screenshot of Donald Glover's character from Community, and then it was just sweatpants, and it was like, "Yo, check out
Childish
this Donald Glover AI."
There was one.
It sounds exactly like Childish Gambino.
What was Ice Cube's character from like either Black Ops 1 or 2?
I don't remember.
But like somebody like took a picture of that and like had him do a cover of A Good Day, you know what I mean? And it's just A Good Day by Ice Cube,
It's
like
just the
like
song
completely
playing.
it's just completely unaltered,
Yeah,
and it's
my
like,
new
oh my
favorite
god,
subgenre of the AI
that's
covers.
brilliant. And then the ones that are just so absolutely crazy, like Minecraft Door doing Gangsta's Paradise.
God, the Minecraft door won't leave me alone.
Oh god.
I really like the Plankton ones. Plankton has great vocal range.
Mr. Krabs.
Plankton has a great capacity for singing.
Yeah, my favorite Plankton line. Dude, I've been saying this so often recently, like Josh was like, dude, like you gotta tone it down, you know what I mean? Like, I like every single time I see somebody that's tired or like got bags under their eyes, I'm just like, you're looking a little peaked.
A little what?
A little peaked.
Pekin?
Peaked.
Peaked.
Yeah, I don't know what it means, but he said it to like, I think Mermaid Man when he was trying to make him think that he was old.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Yeah. Mermaid Man, you're looking a little peaked. He like put like the detergent on his thing to make it look like he had dandruff or something like that, and he was just like, "Huh? Who are you?"
Evil.
Every villain is Lemons, otherwise known as evil. The lemon with the tentacles. Oh my god, still better than the DCEU.
I still occasionally think about Squidward going, Krakatoa!
Does this outfit make my butt look big? Don't worry, Quickster. I'll cool you off with one of my water balls. Turns away from SpongeBob. Finds Squidward. He's like, no. Another Quickster, I've Captain Mag. And then he, oh my wamu, shinde. Just crumbles to death. Holy shit.
Is this your wallet?
Excuse me, sir, but I do believe you've dropped your wallet.
Ooh, thanks.
What if it was just a dream? Aren't you Patrick Star?
There you go.
Yep. That's my library card.
And your fishing license.
Yeah, and well, that's an expired fishing license.
Renew by 4/30/21.
That was 15 years ago.
15 years ago, huh? Oh boy,
Yeah.
time flies.
Time flies. I used to have a Game Shop Pro membership, and now it's thrown all over the floor. As if I'm some kind of cheap whore.
It's still on the desk. It's not on the floor.
This can be a floor if you are tall enough. Everything is floor to Wilt Chamberlain, basketball player.
Every villain is lemons.
Oh my god. So moving on. Ian, there was a tragedy that happened recently.
I woke up this morning.
Not as recently as that.
Okay. Then what?
What could have possibly happened?
I woke up.
Go ahead, Christian.
I woke up yesterday morning.
I'm sure you woke up the morning that this happened too.
That's terrible news. I already hate it.
Maui burned.
What? I mean, that is genuinely terrible news.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I thought it was going to be a bit.
It will be in just a
I'm
minute.
Sad.
So obviously terrible tragedy, you know, our hearts pour out for the families affected by all of this. However, some people aren't as affected by this news, okay? My father, while he was at work, was talking to a coworker of his, okay? For context, this coworker of his is an older lady, I'd say about late 40s, early 50s, okay?
That's not
Similar,
old, but okay.
it's a similar age to my dad.
So, middle-aged, I wouldn't say old, but okay.
I would say older than like 36 is a little old.
Jeez, man.
I'm not saying that they're fucking decrepit or anything like
that's
that.
rough,
You've been
buddy.
around for a while, you know what I mean? That's 4 decades,
That's
man.
rough, buddy.
I'm not saying that they're... Anyway, that's not the point.
That's... I mean, you're not old until you're like at least 65.
Yeah, but then you're like old.
No, you're
I'm saying
old
they're-
when you're in your 80s.
Yeah, but most people don't live that long.
Actually, most people do live that long.
I thought not anymore.
What do you mean not anymore?
I thought like they'd used to, but like not anymore. I thought like most people die younger than that now.
Not to my knowledge.
Hold on. I'm
No,
gonna figure
what's-
this
What
out.
happened with the old lady?
Give me 1 second.
That wasn't old at all.
What's the life expectancy mortality rate now?
You didn't need to add that last part.
What is it? Is that the same thing?
Well, it is. That's why I'm saying you didn't need to say it, because that's redundant.
Okay. Well, Google answered my question anyway. The United Nations estimate a global average life expectancy of 72.6 years for 2019.
Okay, that's a global life expectancy.
That's pre-COVID.
What about an American life expectancy?
CDC estimates that in 2021, life expectancy at birth, a measure of the average number of years a newborn can expect to live, was 76.1 years, down from 77.
Down by a fraction.
I didn't know. I didn't think that we were... I just didn't know that if people were going to be living to 100, you know, anytime soon.
People do that all the time, actually.
Fair enough.
An expectancy is just a mean,
Well-
right? And that gets affected pretty heavily by people dying very young.
Well, one person we'll get to didn't live to 100, so... Anyway. She was talking to my father, their coworkers, you know, and the topic of the Maui situation.
They were roommates.
And they were roommates. No, they're coworkers.
Sorry.
They don't live where they work, which I won't say where, but...
I live where I work,
Do you?
practically.
Why aren't we recording there?
Can if you want. What did this coworker say?
So, they said, I can't believe that they would do something like that.
Oh?
And my dad said,
Getting into the conspiracy?
like anybody else would, I would assume, do what? And she said, cover it up. To which my dad said, cover up what? And she said, well, the media, they don't want any media on the island whatsoever and stuff like that. They're just trying to, like, black people out to, like, prevent them from knowing what really happened. And my dad's just like, wasn't it just a wildfire? And she's just like, yeah, that's what they want you to think. He's like, well, what do you think happened and stuff like that? She's like, well, I know that the Chinese have these laser weapons now, and they are testing them out in the Pacific Ocean, and one of them hit Maui. And my dad is not exactly like the most. How do I put this? He's very blunt with things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, oh my God, I can never talk to you again.
Say that to this woman.
Yeah. And she was like, why? And he's like, you are absolutely crazy. And then he just went back about what he was doing and stuff like that. I'm like, who the fuck? Chinese laser?
Okay. I mean, I know energy-based weapons have been in the center of a lot of conspiracy theories recently.
Yeah.
It's the first
Me
I've
too.
heard of it affecting Maui. Interesting.
Yeah.
Something else I heard.
Why don't we just say that Pearl Harbor was done with laser weapons too? That's about as. That makes as much sense.
Not really.
I mean, laser weapons were fake. Like, that's not a thing that can happen.
They could be testing with trying to make them,
Sure.
but I don't think that's what lit Maui on fire.
I can just see a Chinese general now. They're like walking into the room. And it's like, look what I found on Amazon. Like, what's that? And it's like, very powerful laser pointer. And they're like, holy shit. Can this do something? He's like, watch this. And it like burns a hole in like the table and stuff like that. Like, that's very, like, the smallest. He's like, we could set fire to Maui with this.
Another thing I heard. I haven't looked into this, but he was talking about how the guy in charge of the FEMA operations was arrested because they were finding
What operations?
FEMA
Okay.
disaster relief.
I heard FEMA like kind of blended into the op part, so
FEMA
I was like, I don't know what.
operation. The guy in charge was arrested because the military found bodies of dead people that were not killed by a fire, but instead bullet wounds. Implying that like FEMA didn't have the resources to save everybody, so they were just putting people down.
Oh.
I don't know how much credence there is to that. I haven't investigated.
Right.
That could be just as out there as a laser weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not quite as out there as a laser weapon, because that does seem a little extreme.
Right. Mm-hmm. I wonder how many of these people who think like this have played the video game Spec Ops: The Line,
I haven't.
where there was a white phosphorus attack on civilians, and it's like, oh God. It's like, that's not a thing that happens. It's a thing that could happen, as opposed to this laser thing, but that's not a thing that happens. I don't know if you know this or not, but that's never happened.
What? FEMA shooting people?
Huh? Well, that's not what I was saying a white phosphorus attack, but I was essentially equating it to that. Like,
To FEMA shooting people?
yeah, it might as well be as outlandish as that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like a thing that would actually happen in real life.
Yeah. I'm not saying FEMA are good people, necessarily, because, there's a lot of stuff with the Katrina stuff.
I was going to say, there's a whole lot of controversy when
Yeah.
it comes to FEMA. So it's like,
But,
I don't want to believe that this is true, but part of me is like, it could be.
they're already pieces of shit. Well. Fair enough.
The laser thing is still too far-fetched.
Yeah. And, like, dude, why would you...
It was probably just a normal wildfire.
First
and
of all, even if you said to yourself, this couldn't have been normal wildfire, it had to be started by something, okay?
That's true. It's a big leap from just implying that it was arson to The Chinese fired a laser at Hawaii.
Do you know what they have in Hawaii?
Coconuts?
There are very large things that produce things that can cause fire.
Volcanoes?
Yeah!
I mean, I don't think
What the fuck are we talking about
I
here?
don't think this was a volcano.
But, like, I mean, why
Maybe
would
it
your
was just
mind
a
not...
wildfire with trees.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I don't think any volcanoes were involved.
I mean, if there was a volcano eruption, it would have been pretty
The
obvious.
newest CBS show, Undercover Volcano. He's, like, trying to cause as much destruction as possible without being like... Ah! So... He's like,
Little spouts of lava off the
here,
side.
put your hand here and stuff like that, or pretend you're a tree. Put your hand like that and stuff like that. And then I'm just like, I'm under the ground. I'm just like lava.
And then it spreads.
They'll never know.
Not the volcano.
Holy shit. That Volcano's wearing a trench coat. After him. He's running down the alley.
You are not a man. You are 3 volcanoes in a trench coat.
It's just making the most ungodly noise you've ever heard in your life. You're like, don't try and plead with me now. You know exactly what you did.
You're the god of fire, and you know it.
You're the fire thing, and you made the fire, and you're like, it sounds like
Milo
that.
is very excited, I guess.
He doesn't like volcanoes.
No more volcanoes.
No more volcanoes. So this is a volcano-free podcast from now on. We'll only talk about... What's another term for volcano?
Mountains.
There was a Penguins of Madagascar thing one time, like on their show and stuff like that. And there was like, they had like an evil nemesis that was a dolphin. And the dolphin wanted to get revenge on humans because he was made to jump through a ring of fire. Okay. There was like a fiery ring that he would jump through and stuff like that. So he is doing this by melting the polar ice caps with a ring of fire. Okay. However,
I thought you were going to try to say that he was trying to activate the ring of fire in the Pacific Ocean.
I see. No. However, nobody reporting on this incident is calling it the Ring of Fire like he wants so he could get his revenge. There's like a news guy here, and he's just like, nothing seems to be able to stop this hoop of heat. And he's just like, just call it the Ring of Fire.
This hoop
Of heat. Oh my god. It kills me like every time.
No, but you could probably just call a volcano a mountain.
A mount of magma.
Just like a normal mountain, like Mount Fuji. It's a volcano.
Yeah.
Mount Saint Edna volcano.
Why did you not say Mount St. Helens?
Because
Would that have been too easy?
That's
That's like the best volcano ever.
I wanted to talk about Edna in Sicily.
Are there any good volcanoes?
Sicilia.
If you're a good volcano and you watch this pod, be a good little volcano.
The Yellowstone super volcano.
So yeah. When that all blows, we're gonna have no more global warming.
That's true.
I think people are not looking at the benefits of that happening.
We're all gonna be dead, but the Earth will be
We're
saved.
not all gonna be dead.
Most of us are gonna be dead.
We'll
a
probably be fine.
You don't have a very statistically high likelihood to survive.
It's like the Dust Bowl. If you don't live where the Dust Bowl is, who gives a shit?
No, if the super volcano went off, doesn't matter where you live where the Dust Bowl is.
Huh? But if we live on the East Coast, that happened on the West Coast.
My brother in Christ,
Uh-huh.
if the super volcano goes off,
Yes.
it does not matter where on Earth you live in the Dust Bowl.
True, but
Because
I don't
it's
live
a
in the death zone.
Super volcano.
But I'm not living in the death zone. I'm not living in the fucking death zone, am I?
We would also,
Sure, it'd be black for 30 days and 30 nights, but I mean...
it would massively cool the entire planet.
Yes.
I don't know enough about it to be like, oh, another ice age. 'Cause
So
I don't
here's the
think
thing,
it
though.
would trigger another ice
Oh,
age.
but there was an explosion of a volcano that wasn't as big as this one that did send us into a little mini ice age in like the 1800s or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Volcano eruptions do that.
Yes.
There was one in the 90s. I can't remember what one it was.
It was probably Mount St. Helens.
It was Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
It was Mount St. Helens. Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah,
something like that.
I believe it was 89.
But it legitimately, for the next like 3 or 4 years, lowered the temperature of the Earth by 2 degrees.
The Earth is going to take care of itself whether or not we're around. So be mindful, be vigilant.
So activate.
Steal an excavator.
Activate the Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
Screw the Pacific Ocean.
This hoop of heat. Let's see, what else did I have? I wanted to give a shout out to that band, Villains.
Usurper.
That song Usurper is like really, really good. Anybody listening to this podcast should definitely give it a check it out. If you like heavy kind of rock music, if you don't, then what are you doing with your life?
Probably
Being British?
algebra.
Oh.
Or like,
Sure, yeah.
or maybe
School's back in session, yeah.
or maybe something like trigonometry,
My sister is probably doing algebra while watching this podcast.
or maybe something like basket weaving.
I thought you were going to say basketball.
Basket weaving.
Basket weaving. Would you weave baskets if you could?
Weave baskets? You said?
Yeah.
So, like,
How else would you make it?
You sound like you said weed baskets.
Knit a sweater?
And I was very confused.
Why don't I just...
Yeah, I mean...
And sweater happen.
If I knew how to weave a basket, I would probably not be here.
Are you going to... If I knew how to weave a basket, I wouldn't be doing this fucking podcast.
I'd be weaving baskets.
I'd be weaving. Are you kidding me? I don't care about any of this shit. I want to weave baskets.
Would be an artisan.
Or for Longaberger in Tennessee or whatever.
I don't want to go to Tennessee. Well, Tennessee might be okay.
All right, I'll go to Tennessee.
Okay.
So if I have
But I'm
to.
not leaving Pigeon Forge.
But I'm not leaving this house.
Get a couple of Chinooks.
It's just up. But you land in Pigeon Forge, and they're like, whoa, that's a cool up thing. And you're like, where the fuck am I? Did I make it? You like land on top of the upside down White House or something like that, and you're like, whoa.
Anyways,
Let's see here. I gave a shout out to that. I don't remember what the fuck this was.
a lot of writing.
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah, Japan. A YouTuber that I watch a lot made like a trip to Japan. And he just went around buying a whole bunch of stuff and everything, and it gave me a lot of insight as to what the video game market in Japan is.
Oh.
Essentially, if you are in a major city, you're going to pay top dollar for everything. But if you go to some place that's not a major city, that's a little off the beaten path, like, good luck trying to pay for anything.
What
Like,
do you mean?
like you could like buy pretty much the whole store if you wanted to. It's that cheap.
You will have to have
practically
a
give
better
it to you.
a better handle on the Japanese language
Yes.
if you're going out to smaller towns and
Yes.
such.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm
'cause-
currently learning Japanese.
Are you?
I am. There's a program through my
Duolingo.
employer where you can learn languages. It's called Mango Languages.
Why didn't they do that when I worked there?
They might have. It's
Nobody
through the
told me.
Dish app entirely.
Nobody told me anything about it.
I'm sorry.
How effective is it?
So I've only done one lesson. And
So
the
how effective is it?
I mean, it appears to be pretty good, stuff like
Say
that.
something in Japanese.
Konnichiwa.
Your accent is atrocious.
Konnichiwa.
Anyways, what are you saying?
But yeah, it appears to be pretty cool. Essentially, they showed me a bunch of Japanese phrases, and they were essentially having me like guess my way through them to understand my current knowledge.
Your level of
I got 2 out of the 36 correct.
You're an idiot.
Yeah,
I kind of want to take the same test and see how well I do.
that's very fair. You absolutely can.
You can't because you've already done it.
I mean, you just do it again.
You can't because you've already done it.
Okay.
Anyways.
I don't think it's a thing that like tailors it to you because of the thing. I think it's just like shows you where you're at, and then they give you a bunch of lessons, and then you take the same test, and then I think you know you're supposed to just do better the second time because you know more now. I think it's like that.
I wonder if it's like a thing outside of your thing.
Oh yeah, the Mango Languages app exists.
For it.
Yeah. The Mango Languages app exists outside of it. It's just that I get an account because of
how
the
much
goals.
is it though?
That I don't know. You'll have to find that out. But during this particular Japan trip that he went on,
Good old Japan.
he is British. So he says things bad and makes a not good with his speech. Are you aware that they fucking say urinals?
No. I was not aware of that.
Like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, they call urinals urinals. What in the absolute fuck are you doing? Why are you putting so much emphasis on the I? It's like you put EYE in the middle of the fucking thing. Like, Jesus. Oh.
I did find out recently that they don't use the word zucchini.
Or do they call that pudding too, or what?
No, it's courgette.
Courgette.
So the thing is going
called
back to what I was
squash.
talking about earlier.
Yeah.
With us taking the language and coming to America.
Did they call it zucchini originally?
No,
Okay.
they didn't have zucchinis originally,
Oh.
so there wasn't a word for it.
Fair. Yeah, fair enough.
But then zucchinis were introduced later.
Yes.
But zucchinis were introduced to us by Italian immigrants, who called them zucchinis.
It's like a green squash.
But zucchinis were introduced to them by the French. And
It's
the French word for zucchini is courgette. So,
Verde.
verde is Spanish.
Vert.
Vel.
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 Unless it's a feminine object, then it's a velt.
Velt. Yeah. I guess. Sure. I feel like I'm pronouncing it absolutely correctly every time you do it, and then you just look at me and you're like, no, God, why would you ever think that?
That time was better than you have in times past.
Fair enough.
Example sentence: Ma merde est verte. My poop is green.
Poop cock.
Well, that's actually my shit is green.
You're
I guess mon caca
Mon.
is vert.
Let's move on to celebrity deaths. This is a quite
in memoriam.
We didn't have any until there were 3 days in a row of just doom doom doom.
True, and this was my fault too.
No, I would say if you want to claim the first 2 as your fault, I don't think the third one could be claimed as your fault, unless you want to.
One?
Well, I'll get to it. So the first one was Terry Funk, famed hardcore wrestler, professional wrestler, and former NWA world champion.
Yeah, he made it to like 78 or 79.
Yeah, which is
Really a shock.
crazy. Like
Very old for a wrestler.
Oh, and very old for a wrestler who did what he did. Like he was like Mick Foley levels of like put barbed wire in my asshole, like just going nuts with that shit. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. Lived a long time. Otherwise known as Chainsaw Charlie. He was Chainsaw Charlie for a while there. He'd come to the ring with a chainsaw and a stocking over his face while wearing flannel.
So he's a lot like Mick Foley.
Except the flannel was form-fitting and not just draped over his body.
Robust body.
A robust body, yes. He didn't really have a robust body. He just had like a regular body.
Anyways.
He died. Rest in peace. Bray Wyatt, otherwise known as Wyndham Rotunda, is his real name. Also passed away.
I like how his real name sounds fake.
Yeah. Well, his father was a wrestler back in the day whose name was Mike Rotunda. He was known as IRS. He was a guy, he would go around with like a briefcase and stuff like that and like be like a lawyer kind of wrestler kind of character guy and stuff like that. He's in the Hall of Fame.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Moist Wrestling League?
Yes.
I
I guarantee it's inspired.
I feel like
I guarantee it's
similarities here.
inspired 100%. Yeah. The dude with the chains I think is also inspired by someone, but I don't remember who.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And then his uncle was Barry Windham, who was also a professional wrestler, who I believe is also in the Hall of Fame. And then his brother is Bo Dallas, who is also a wrestler.
I'll say I know that name.
And he was in WWE for a bit, and then he moved to AEW and stuff. So very long historic wrestling family and stuff
What did he
like
die
that.
of?
So,
Because he was quite young.
yes, he was 36. There was speculation when it initially happened because when you're that young, you're too young to really die of anything unless it's tragic. So I'm like, oh God, did something
Tragic.
did something really, really unfortunate happen? And thankfully that wasn't the case and stuff like. I'm not even gonna go there, but like I thought the worst, because I had heard rumors that he had recently got released from WWE, and I thought maybe that weighed into like, his mood and things of that nature. But that was not the case at all and stuff like that. He was not released from WWE. He was taking time off because he got COVID.
Oh, so okay.
He got COVID, and that COVID kicked up a heart condition that he had from when he was a child, and he died of a COVID-induced heart attack at the age of 36.
Tragic.
That is awful. Terrible. Oh my God. Amy.
That was terrible.
I'm just that's the only way that I can deal with tragedy. All right.
I know.
Laughing is my love language.
But it was just funny.
Yeah. Amy was talking to me and was like, I can't really get into wrestling and stuff like that. And I'm like, I thought you said you like Kenny Omega and stuff like that. He's a really good wrestler. And she's just like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, he did like an Undertale thing once, and that was pretty cool. Like, Toby Fox made his music or something. But like, she was like, I was just starting to get into wrestling recently. My favorite wrestler was Bray Wyatt. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then to comfort her, I put my hand on her shoulder and I said, don't worry, my favorite wrestler at one point in time was Chris Benoit. And it's just like, very unfortunate things happen to where things like that, I mean, he was a great, he literally would be like top 5 if he didn't like fuck up.
Oh, man.
As a performer, one of the greatest of all time. As a person, fuck that guy. Yeah, and then The Undertaker became my favorite wrestler. Good visual.
It's good visual.
Our audio listeners want... I haven't addressed our audio listeners in a while. How y'all doing?
They don't exist.
You okay? Sure they do.
I had a guy come into the store the other day asking about this wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut him off mid-sentence, and I was like, no, you have to order it. He was like, order it? I was like, yeah, you have to buy it from WWE. We don't get it. He was like, oh. I was like, yeah, I have to.
Yeah. He's like, if you want the Ultimate Warrior one, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. But yeah. And our third celebrity death. Bob Barker died at the age of 99.
Yes, I did hear
The
about
price is wrong.
that.
Bitch.
I gotta say though, when I
Yeah.
heard that news, I had to double take, and I went, "He wasn't already dead."
Did you see that conspiracy TikTok I sent you?
Oh, the thing
With
where
that
he's
stupid
died
guy.
like 4
He's died
times.
like 4 times in this universe. And to show that the Mandela effect was created on YouTube about 9 years ago. And it's like, what?
Yeah. The Mandela effect is real, you guys.
I mean, it's a real, like, concept.
It's a real phenomenon, but
Yeah.
it's not like
But it's not like a...
we're not converging with other timelines.
Right. It's not like this all-powerful thing. Or at least if we are converging with other timelines, it's not... there's nothing to do with that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be minor things. It's going to be major. You would notice a difference, I would think.
I would think.
Uh-huh. Unless it's like the Matrix and it's deja vu and it's like all of a sudden there's skyscrapers and brick walls and you're like, oh my god.
I gotta tell you something later.
He's got to tell me something later. Other than that, I got 2 more things here. Boruto the sequel.
Boruto Shippuden dropped.
Yeah. It
so-
dropped like
No,
first...
like released.
Okay.
What's
I was
it
like-
called again? Blue Vortex, I think.
I think that's what you said. You sent it in the chat. Why? Did we need this?
So, like, obviously, there's only been 1 chapter.
Okay.
So don't feel like I can say much to Blue Vortex.
Sure.
The word 2 is in there.
Oh, Boruto.
2 Blue Vortex.
The way they had that formatted is strange, no?
Yes.
Shouldn't the 2 be before the colon?
No.
Well, because that and it's implying there's 2 blue vortexes.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Oh, that's weird.
They just didn't plural the vortex. But
Okay.
it's
That's what I
it's
would have
probably
done.
just like a weird translation.
Fair enough.
What was I saying? Right.
Yes.
It's only been 1 chapter.
1 chapter.
But I gotta say, it already seems slightly more interesting than the original run of Boruto.
See, that's how I think you're going to feel when we get to the return series of Twin Peaks. Like the 2017 series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be like, oh, this is a much more watchable, digestible show.
So I still have a big problem with this, though.
Yes.
In that, so a lot of the criticism it got, the manga for Boruto,
Yes.
was that the guy who's drawing it now is not Kishimoto.
He's the original guy?
Kishimoto is the Naruto guy.
Oh, okay.
The guy who's drawing it now, I want to say his name is Ikemoto. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Different guy, though.
No.
And he draws underage characters in very provocative ways. Specifically, Sarada, Sasuke's daughter. And that was a point of contention for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
So, with this,
It was a regular
I'm under
Shad
the
man.
impression that Kishimoto has stepped back in story-wise, but this is still being drawn by Ikemoto. And
Okay.
the Sarada situation just got worse. It only got worse after the time skip. Now, Baruto himself looks really cool. He's got a nice design going. It's like a ninja western.
Ooh,
He's
okay.
got like a cape and he's got a sword on his side and resting his sword on his hand on the hilt. He looks cool.
Sword.
I really like really like Baruto's design,
Very nice.
genuinely.
Yeah.
But Sarada's design is just like, why are we? She's like 16, dude. Like 15 tops in this.
So I know I'm not really all that deep into Naruto. I'd say I'm deeper than somebody who just like casually knows about it.
I mean,
for
you like
sure.
just got to the tuning exams, but yeah,
Well, I finished tuning.
you finished all of the tuning exams.
Pretty sure.
Oh, that's news. I didn't know you did that.
Like I finished the
job.
trial of them in the woods. Like, is that where it ends, or
No, this is a tournament,
I haven't seen the tournament yet.
and you haven't finished the tuning exams.
I haven't finished tuning exams. But like,
You haven't even seen the best part of the tuning exams.
right? I know. I do know about that. That's the one thing that anybody would know, I think, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's so old at this point.
Yeah. You think he's gonna just by removing a little weight? Boo!
Bombs go off.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
You're not that deep into Naruto.
Right. I remember how I started this. I don't remember how I was gonna finish it. Oh, but like, is it wrong of me to prefer what Naruto looks like now as opposed to what he looks like in Shippuden?
What do you mean now? Now is in where you are?
Yes.
No.
Because I think that design looks vastly better, personally. It just seems like he's wearing like a zip up hoodie in the fucking.
Yeah, he's not even a hoodie. It's just a sweater.
Yeah, like it.
I don't dislike the Shippuden design.
I don't think it's terrible, but
yes, the original Naruto design I think is more unique if nothing else.
Yeah.
And then I don't even dislike his Boruto design. A lot of people hated it because he got a haircut. Like his hair doesn't look unruly. But
Wasn't
it's
he like old as fuck now?
He's not. There you go again. he's like 30, maybe. He's like early to middle age.
So he's not old as fuck.
But like he's a grown man. He's the Hokage, and you're upset that he got a freaking haircut. Calm down.
Chill out.
Simmer down.
He can't be spiky head Naruto anymore. His hair don't sit like that.
I'm not huge on the Sasuke design in Boruto.
I actually don't know what he looks like in Boruto.
He looks somehow even more emo.
Whoa.
And he wears this black cloak that constantly covers.
Just Professor Snape now?
Yeah, he's literally Professor Snape
That's
That
hilarious.
is the best way to put it.
That is so funny.
Which is, I mean, it's not. The thing is, when he takes off the cloak, he looks significantly cooler because he's got like a button-up shirt with like a fancy,
doing?
like a vest like you would wear underneath a suit jacket.
Yeah, it's like Snape.
He's got gloves.
That's like wicked like Snape. Really.
And he has his sword still.
Yeah.
And he only has one arm, which makes him look cooler.
Well, yeah.
Missing an arm makes you look cool.
But
then he throws on the cloak and covers all of the coolness up, and he just looks like Snape.
What are you doing? What? But yeah.
I'm also just not huge on the fact that in Boruto, all the Jonin jackets don't have pockets anymore.
They don't what?
They don't have pockets anymore.
That's like the coolest part of the jacket.
They don't have the little utility things.
That's like the coolest part of the jacket.
No, it's just a flat green thing.
Ah, that fucking sucks. Did they just like stop doing it because they didn't want to draw like details? Or
I
whatever?
think so.
Shame on.
I believe the in-universe reason. I believe the in-universe reason is something like the wartime is over, so they want to portray the image of being peaceful now. So they don't want to like everybody was just suited up before constantly. But
everybody was just fursuiting before.
I don't know. In my mind, I'm just like Hikimoto. You could have drawn the pouches.
Could fucking. That's not a problem.
Yeah. A lot of the designs in Boruto are decent.
Yeah.
I really like Kiba's Boruto design. He looks cool.
Kiba.
Hinata does not. They nerfed Hinata in Boruto. Her Shippuden design was peak.
It looks peak.
And then in Boruto she looks completely different.
Really?
Completely different.
Like not even hot anymore?
Not even a little bit.
Wow. Well, she's a mom, so.
You were excited for MILF Hinata? You don't get it. Sakura looks miles better, though.
Okay. I'll take that trade-off, sure.
She's still Sakura.
So she's an idiot.
Ironically, she's supposed to be the smartest of the three. Like, that was an established thing from the beginning of the series.
So, let me get this straight. Harry Potter is Dumbledore now. Ron is Snape, and fucking Hermione is McGonagall.
So here's the thing. I would actually say that
Would Sasuke be Draco? in this scenario?
I would say that Sasuke is more like Harry Potter
Fair. Okay.
because he's like a prodigy from a well-established family.
And he has, really like troubled, scarred past and stuff. Yeah.
Whereas Naruto is more like Ron because he's kind of.
So that's even weirder. So Harry's Snape, Ron's Dumbledore.
But Harry's more like Ron because he's kind of a just total.
Harry's
screw
more
up.
like Ron.
Naruto's more like Ron because he's kind of a screw up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't come from like a super powerful family, but they are notable historically and are like still pureblood and still like really cool, but they just don't get a lot of notoriety. Yeah, they don't get a lot of notoriety.
Yeah.
And obviously he's now an orphan, so all the siblings aren't there like they are in Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
But I would say that Harry himself is more like Sasuke.
I see.
Yeah.
So
Sasuke is now Snape.
Hermione is McGonagall?
I guess.
I don't know what Sakura's role is now, or what like.
Sakura is in charge of.
Her role before was just to be
She's in
annoying.
charge of the healthcare system in Konoha.
So she's the nurse lady.
Yeah, but she's not a nurse. She's like the supervising doctor. She runs the entire medical facility.
Isn't she in Harry Potter?
Who?
The one chick. I don't remember her name.
Oh, the nurse. In
Yeah.
Harry Potter? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember her name.
Regrowing bones is a nasty business.
Yeah, I know the character. I just don't.
Well, yeah. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Boruto too.
We haven't seen Sakura. So
Do we know when the anime will happen or no?
I don't know.
Because it's gotta happen, right?
Oh, it should get animated.
Yeah.
But so here's the premise, and this is going to be a little hard to understand.
Hard.
Well, it's hard to understand even for someone like myself who's privy to everything.
Privy.
But I have to explain some concepts to you.
Okay.
Aliens.
Aliens.
This
Kill
is
a kill.
kind of a spoiler, but the
Gurren
end of
Lagann.
Shippuden is aliens. Just know that.
I didn't know it was Trigger anime.
Right? But
When are they making more shit? Get on your shit, Trigger. I know you've given us nothing but greatness over the last 30 years, but do
that's
more
not
of it.
true. They made Darling in the Franxx,
That's right. I forgot about that.
which was good for the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, like Bleach. No,
You.
Alex doesn't watch this podcast.
I mean, you're making me mad.
Sure.
Does that count?
Yeah, that's fair.
What was I saying? Right.
Darling in the
So
Franxx.
aliens. So there's these aliens. They're called the Otsutsuki,
Yes.
and they have these special abilities that they call shinjutsu.
Right. Okay.
And there are some that are like godly.
What do they look like? Like, do they look like human or no?
They're
no,
humanoid, but they're pale white,
Okay.
like completely white. And they
Like a sheet.
a lot of them have either the Byakugan or the Sharingan or the Rinnegan. They all have some kind of ocular jutsu.
I see.
You haven't seen the Rinnegan yet,
No.
but you have seen the Byakugan and the Sharingan.
I think I've just seen Sharingan, right? Or what's the other one?
Byakugan is the thing that Hinata has. You know how her eyes are white?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that was a thing yet, though.
Oh. You'll learn more about that soon.
Sure, okay.
And they have the ability to make these chakra weapons
Okay.
that are black, and they
That sounds cool.
suck your chakra and when they hit you. Anyways, so the premise of the original Boruto
Yes.
was such that these Otsutsuki were back after having been defeated at the end of Shippuden.
Okay.
Different Otsutsuki, but they're back. And they're trying to reincarnate It's just they have an ability called karma. Um,
We all have that ability.
no, but it's like
Yes.
you have to find a suitable host and inject your karma into them.
Oh.
And it's like a little black mark on their hand. And when it fully develops, yeah, it's like a little diamond on your hand.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
But when it fully develops, then the host becomes fully Otsutsuki, and that allows when the actual Otsutsuki dies, they can just transfer their essence, their spirit,
consciousness
whatever
and
their
stuff, yeah.
consciousness, to the karma vessel. Right. So the whole plot of it is Baruto has become a karma vessel,
Oh, okay.
and they find this this kid, same age as Baruto, or
Yeah.
slightly older, named Kawaki, who was part of a series of experiments that this Otsutsuki guy was doing to find a vessel, to find a suitable vessel. Basically, he just went around collecting orphans and trying to put karmas in them, but most of them died because you have to be a suitable vessel. So Kawaki was just the one he landed on after killing, hundreds of children, establishing this is the bad guy, that we hate this guy. So Baruto and
It
Kawaki,
is the Far Cry thing, where it's like, why should I hate this person? What has this person done to me? And then the person does the most evil possible thing that he could to you, and then he's like, ha ha ha, and you're like, oh, I had to kill that guy. Oh, that guy's a bad guy. It's every Far Cry game.
Either way, so Baruto
Yeah.
and Kawaki both have karma. So then the story of Baruto takes place where they're trying to get rid of the karma, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a battle in which Baruto dies.
Yeah.
But Momoshiki, who is the Otsutsuki that
He dies?
Baruto dies. Momoshiki, who is the Otsutsuki who put the karma on Baruto at the beginning of Baruto, had died already. But part of his consciousness was inside Baruto, akin to Naruto being able to communicate with Kurama, or the Nine Tails inside of himself. What are you writing? Oh, I'm talking about it.
Okay.
So, but the thing is like Momoshiki has this talks to Baruto in his consciousness or whatever,
Okay.
and he's just like, look,
While he's dead.
yeah,
Okay.
He's like, look, if I let you die, then I'm completely dead, because you're the only one I have karma on.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna let you die. And Baruto was like, what's the trade off? Like, what's going on here?
What do I get out of this?
Yeah. And Momoshiki's like, I'm just gonna Otsutsukiify you. I'm gonna download the rest of my physical being into you, and I'm not gonna be able to take control of you anymore. Because that was a plot point throughout Baruto. Was occasionally Momoshiki would take control of Baruto.
Okay.
He's like, I'm not gonna be able to take control of you anymore. I'm gonna be rendered super weak myself.
Yeah.
But you're gonna come back to life. You're gonna retain your abilities, but I'm not gonna be able to meddle with you.
Okay.
And Baruto's like, doesn't that mean functionally you're dying, though? And he was like, not really. Technically, I'm still alive. Don't you forget that. So
I was going to say it's like a certain movie that I know, but you haven't seen that movie, and I kind of want you to because it's really fucking messed up and weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's like the movie Being John Malkovich.
Cool.
Yeah.
But either way, Kawaki at this point, so he was a tortured orphan.
Yes.
He was implanted with karma. He watched all of these other kids die. He was very traumatized. And then when he came to the Leaf Village, to Konoha, Naruto took him in and treated him like a son. So Baruto and Kawaki they act like brothers towards one another.
Okay.
But Kawaki has this unhealthy obsession with trying to protect Naruto. And in the fight with the Otsutsuki, when Naruto goes his super ultimate mode, it's called Baryon mode. It was a big deal when it came out.
It was cool. I promise. It looked cool.
Yeah, spoilers, but you're probably never gonna read or watch Baruto, so I don't really care.
I mean, it'll be so
Kurama
far in
dies.
the future. Okay.
The Nine-Tailed Fox spirit.
Okay.
He dies. He gives up his life essence
Right.
in order for Naruto to continue fighting.
Okay.
So now Naruto is not a Jinchuriki. And he lost a good portion of his power because a lot of what he fought with was the Nine-Tailed stuff.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So Kawaki freaks out. And he thinks that since Baruto has become 100% Otsutsuki, he doesn't trust Momoshiki. He thinks Momoshiki is going to come back and reincarnate any time now. So he tries to kill Baruto. And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then his next conclusion is to trap Naruto and Hinata in a pocket dimension where time stands still. Where time stands still. Like, so they won't age. They're unconscious. They're just in a pocket dimension.
Yeah.
Until such a time as he's removed Baruto. And so this big manhunt gets started looking for Kawaki.
Yeah.
And then, not to detract too much from the main plot, but there are cyborgs now. And one of them has the ability to make everybody attracted to her. And she can't control it.
Oh, okay.
But the only people it doesn't work on are Otsutsuki.
Okay.
So she has an unhealthy obsession with Kawaki. Because she wants to make Kawaki fall in love with her. Because everybody else is just already in love with her.
Yeah.
So she runs into him. She's crying like, how can I change this? How can I make things better?
Yeah.
And plot happens.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out her ability wasn't just to make people fall for her. It's actually a much more high tier shinjutsu that the doctor that made her didn't understand. But what she did it was fueled by Kawaki's desires. She altered the reality. She altered the memories of everybody.
Oh.
And made them all think Kawaki was Naruto's son and Baruto was the orphan that they took in. And they also made them think that Baruto killed Naruto. So in Baruto Shippuden, Baruto is a fugitive of Konoha, and they're actively hunting him because they think he killed the 7th Hokage. And Kawaki's like an instrumental part of their forces because they think that he's the son of Naruto, the 7th Hokage.
So it's face off.
Kind of. And for whatever reason, Sarada was not affected, even though she's not Otsutsuki. So she knows that Baruto didn't kill Naruto.
Yeah.
But Sasuke was affected.
Mm-hmm.
But Sarada begged Sasuke to help Baruto anyway. And Sasuke was like, look, I don't understand what's going on, but fine. Because my daughter asked me to help.
Yeah.
So Sasuke and Baruto left the village, and then that's when Baruto ended. And then there's a 3-year time skip to Baruto Shippuden. Baruto 2 Blue Vortex, but Shippuden sounds better. Sorry, that took a long time to explain.
No, I mean, it was very concise. I understand where we're at now.
Yeah, so basically, it's Face Off, but with ninjas.
So face off. Because it's a John Woo movie and everybody's a ninja in those.
Alright, fair enough.
They're ninjas with guns and doves that fly everywhere.
That's true.
Yes. So that being said, I only had one more thing left. It's a little sad note to end on, kind of, but it's I didn't want to put anything after this. I wanted to kind of leave it on this. The most historic and celebrated voice actor of all time is retiring.
Oh?
Charles Martinet, the voice of It's a Me Mario, has hung up the overalls and boots and said that he will continue to make appearances, but he is no longer the voice of Mario.
He doesn't really need to be at this point anyway, right?
I mean, they have enough.
They've got all the recordings
yeah,
that they could ever need.
Yeah,
and with the advent of AI...
They could Don Rickles this shit for generations.
Oh, the camera died.
I knew it was close to dying. I didn't know.
It's also been an hour and a half, so we should end anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
It's very sad to hear about Mario.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace. Technically. not technically. Charles
not
Martinet,
dead.
he's not dead. Charles Martinet is very much still alive. It's just that he has decided that he's going to call it a career, and what a career to have, you know. A voice possibly the most influential character.
One of, if not.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
You know, thank you for your service, sir. You've made all of our childhoods and adulthoods, for that matter, a better place.
Neat.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Goodbye.
All right. You can't see it right now, but I'm gonna knuckle touch Ian in the face.
Oh. Ow! Why?
Joe, that hurt.